Hey everyone, welcome. Have you ever wanted to create a cool dynamic quest in Unreal Engine where NPCs would react to your progress and the world changes around you? Today we are going to do just that, and I'm going to show you how to build a classic collect 3 apple quest using my plugin. All this is possible just with one single plugin, that is a dialog system plugin which I made. We will have a quest giver, a second NPC who gives you a hint only when the quest is active, and of course 3 apples to find. By the end of this tutorial, you will see how easy it is to create stateful interconnected conversations without a single line of code. Okay, so here is our setup. I've already set up our 2 NPCs in the world. The NPC 1 who's actually going to give us the quest, and the NPC 2 who's going to give us the hint. I've also placed 3 apples in the world. This is just normal blueprint at the moment. So first thing first, dialog. Okay, so this is going to be the participant, and participant must have a starting dialog line ID, but which we are going to do it once we have the data tables ready. And NPC2 will also have a dialog. So another important stuff is adding the player. Player should also have the dialog component. Okay, and player should have another important component called initiate dialog. So that is a must. Okay, and so why it is a must is, as you can see, I already have in my interaction component, which is my interaction component. It has nothing to do with the plugin, but you can have a similar structure in your code or in blueprint. I'm following a C++ style code. So whenever player presses interact key, I'm calling the my interactions primary interact method. And what is this primary interact is basically when a player presses the E key on his keyboard, and this on primary interact is coming from my character code. Okay, which is this one. This is that on primary interacted, and on primary interact is linked to the hooked to the controller, which is calling the interact. Okay, this one. All right, so that was my basic setup. It has nothing to do with the plugin. And going back to the code, so my interaction component, primary interact, is just checking for any actor who has implemented this interactable interface, and it is just calling the invoking the interact method on them. Okay, all right, so that was it for the external code. Now coming back to the dialog component, dialog plugin code. So assuming my interaction calls primary interact, all right, and you could even initiate start dialog from here, which is the method on the initiate dialog, but I would suggest not to do that because it keeps the code clean. Okay, so what I mean by that is, so now coming back to the NPC, my NPC has an interface added called interactable interface. Similarly, NPC2 also has this. Yeah, perfect. So what is going to happen is whenever player invokes interact on the found actor, so assuming maybe let's see that focused actor is this NPC1, so the event gets called is interact, okay, which is from my interface. Okay, and it has this instigator pawn, and I know that instigator pawn is going to be the player. So what I can do is I can simply do the casting. Perfect. So now we are going to get the component, and if this particular instigator has initiate, initiate dialog component. If this particular actor has this component, then only the next stuff would run. So now we have to Now, as I told you, right, this initiate dialog component has a public method called try start dialog. So that is what we are going to call, and I'm going to make it context sensitive. So try, okay, interesting. Yeah, so dialog start dialog with, so untick this context sensitive, and yeah. So now, assuming the player is invoking this target, so we need to initiate the dialog with this particular NPC. So we are just going to get reference to the self. All right. So now we have this, okay, and we are just going to link this up. All right. So you could do something else like play a sound, okay. You copy this, and what you would do is, practically in a real world game, have a basic parent blueprint and inherit all this other NPCs from it, so that you don't have to rewrite this code every time. But for now, I'm just going to paste it here. There are a few more things, but it should be nice to know that some things are missing. Right. So you can notice that my starting line dialog ID is undefined, so it's giving me an error. Okay, so the console's logs are purposefully left like that. Okay, so now what we can do is we have to create data tables, the data tables for our dialog. Okay, so data table. Okay, the most critical part of this entire plugin is the settings part, so don't forget that. So yeah, so you have to select your, and this one is the inbuilt dialog widget which I supplied. You can have your own dialog widget as well, that's completely fine. It should have certain things. So the only required things are, you just inherit this dialog plugin from dialog widget. So basically what you do is you create a blueprint class, and then over here you type dialog widget, which is this dialog widget class. Select it. For now, I'm just going to call this new blueprint, okay, because we are going to delete it anyway. So if I compile, it will tell me what things are missing. So you just have to create the required things with this exact names. All right, so going back to, okay, so the starting line ID for player is not needed. We can just close the player now. We are done with the player part. Okay, and the next thing which is remaining is for getting some feedback, nice feedback. I have supplied a show dialog prompt, which allows you to highlight the participants, and okay, so it also comes up with this line, press E to talk would be nice, and let's do outline. So I'm just going to use the highlight type as outline. We are going to use m_outline. Okay, and hit compile. Similarly for the NPC one. Okay, there is one critical thing I forgot. Don't ever forget this my tooltip widget, because this is what going to show up above your tooltip widget. Always use this supplied my WP my tooltip widget. You can use your own, but don't forget to add the tooltip text variable. Okay, so we forgot that we have to add some data for dialog line. Row name is the important part. So I am following a pattern. So I recommend that dialogues should start with D underscore, events should start with E underscore, and choices should start with C, and similarly state should start with S. For now, dialog. So this is going to be a dialog for NPC1, and I'm just going to say NPC start, and let's add that to the NPC1. Okay. Similarly, we should have some data for NPC2. All right, so let's see if it is all working fine. So you can see the highlight is working. If I press E, the dialog pops up. And can you please get me 3 apples? I would really appreciate. Next line, hello, and done. Similarly, if I go here, that's it, done. So you'll notice for the NPC1, it automatically went to the next line because I had linked next row name as D player hello. For the generic one, I did not link anything. So what I'm going to do is now we are going to actually start doing our quest. Okay, and to do that, I'll remove this next row name and hit enter. And we're going to start with the choices. So the player is going to have 2 choices, either to accept or reject. Okay, and all right. So now going back to the choices, C for player choices, add a table. First one, I'm just going to say decline quest. And again, I'm going to expand this a little bit. Choice text is the interesting part about the choice, especially the accept quest, is going to be the event, which we just spoke about. Also, we should add a next line. This is just going to be optional, but nice to have. Okay, and same, we'll need to have it in the dialog lines. So player choices, as I mentioned, the accept apple quest is going to be interesting one because it is going to have an event, which is it is going to emit an event. Okay, perfect. You can emit multiple events if you wish, one for the accept, one for the reward or something. Okay, or maybe for timers. So now, since we are going to trigger this event, where are we going to actually listen for it? So that is the interesting part. Okay, so as I said, this event gets heard somewhere, but for that you have to register that event first. Okay, so we have to go to the TT state changes, add the particular event name, which is not C, it is E, accept apple quest. All right, so let's see so far what has happened. So we have this choice called C accept apple quest, and we have linked it over here. And let's see it in working action. So if I go to the generic, hello there. So there is no choice, of course. And if I go to the NPC1, there is a choice. Can you please get me 3 apples? Sure, I'll get them for you. Great, let me know when you have them. But if I go again, it starts back again. Where is the state then? Yes, the state will come in place now. Okay, so remember we defined this event. It actually got triggered in the background. You can even confirm that by the logs. But to be able to have some effect, so we triggered this event, but we didn't told the our dialog management that it should record something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a fact. So I'll first of all write it out, then I'll explain what I mean by the fact. So the fact should always start with S. I mean, that is going to be a state. You can also choose F if you want. So accept apple quest. So we'll call this apple quest accepted. Okay, so facts to add means whenever this event gets triggered, this fact, this state, it will be get added to the state directly whenever this event gets triggered. And facts to remove is optional for now. This is the interesting part. So what I mean by that is, so if there is a fact in this state which is S apple quest, then set. So we are already in a dialog. So in that particular dialog chain of event, for the NPC1, set this state D underscore NPC1 underscore in progress. Okay, so how come this is only setting the state for the NPC1? The reason for that is the dialog. So when we initiated the dialog, we were already in 2 participants, and each participant has this dialog, and participant, it's actually like a state. All right, so now if I run this and if I go here, so you will see, sure, I'll get them for you. Okay, great, let me know when you have them. And if I go back, so there is an error because we didn't set this particular line, which is this one, in progress. So in progress is basically, so in progress would run when you next time visit the NPC, okay, after setting the state. It will not be available to you directly. So now there is going to be a choice for the player, which is going to be C underscore turn in apples. Okay, and for this choice text, what should it display is, so I created the C turn in apples, and the text is going to be, choice text is going to be, and for this we are going to have next line ID as NPC1, thanks. Let's also define that into our dialogues. And you could also emit an event whenever this line gets triggered. So the event is going to be quest reward. Okay, and so you could listen for this event from any dialog component, but I'm going to go to the player for now because we want to trigger this on player. So you remember this on dialog event is available only on the player. So anything happened, event name, and you could do a switch on name. So we have a name, right? So whenever this event gets triggered, we are going to play a sound. Okay, for now just play a sound. Okay, you could do much more than that. All right, so I'll just play this one and also display a text. All right, so let's see. I have specifically left the player choice conditions empty for now, just to show you what would happen when you add conditions. All right, so now I'm going to talk. Sure, I'll get them for you, and great, let me know when you have them. If I talk again, so did you get all the apples? Yeah, take them. Okay, so you will see the sound did play and the text got displayed on the left. Okay, and now if I so since I didn't have all the 3 apples, right? So now this is what the conditions mean. I'll go to the player choices. So remember, turn in apple had no conditions. So this is what we are going to do now. So in the conditions, what I want is, again, events, you could trigger the events from here as well. So what I want is the state the global state should have player has apple 1, player has apple 2, player has apple 3. All right, so this condition, the button will be displayed now only when the player has all those 3 states. Okay. Okay, now so you'll see the button is not visible this time because player doesn't have all those conditions met. All right. Also, if I go and talk to the NPC2, he's still talking about this generic text, but we can also change this now. Okay, let's see. So first of all, let's change the state for the NPC2 that if the quest has started, I want the NPC to say something else. Okay, You could also have a state where, let's say, if player has 2 apples, he could hint you to the 3rd apple. But for now, we are just going to say if the quest has started, which means if this S apple quest accepted is in the state, then we are going to do something. So let's do that now. Also, the important part over here is the top most array takes the first precedence. So when I say d underscore npc2 underscore hint, and I'm going to add a required fact, apple quest accepted. Now if I add one more, I'll collapse this, and if I add one more conditional hint over here, so you'll see there is 0 and 1. So 0 condition will take place first. If the state doesn't have this, that means it will go to this next one, which is going to d underscore npc2 underscore generic. All right, so let's see this in action. Okay, so when I start the game again, so our game will not have any state. I mean, the quest has not been accepted or started. So if I go to the npc2, so he's still talking the generic. But now if I start the quest, okay, and if I go to the npc2, okay, so looking for something, shiny red apple fall over there. And let's work on the apples now. So if I select the apple, nothing is happening. Okay, let's see why. Okay, so the main thing is, of course, picking up the apple is not part of the dialog plugin, but I'm still going to show how I can pick this up. I've already added the interface, interactable interface to the apple, and it is nothing, just a static mesh. Another thing which I'm going to add to this is going to be the event. So as you know, since this is implementing an interactable interface, I have something called, okay, so whenever the player presses E, he's calling this interact interface on the found focused actor. So that focus actor can call certain things on it now. So what we can do is simply we can play a sound, or maybe print string. Okay, and about to add fact. And what I need is, this is the interesting part. Remember, whenever we were clicking on the choices, we were triggering a particular state, right? So whenever this choice was getting triggered, we were actually adding this required fact to the state, right? Similarly, now what Apple can do is Apple can push a particular state to the dialog store. So we have to get subsystem, which is going to be substate dialog state subsystem, and upon getting this, what we have to do is we have to call add fact. Okay, and the fact is going to be a string, so I'll just add a string over here. So this is just an F name. Okay, and make sure you click on this instance editable so that it is it becomes visible in your editor blueprint from your editor. So now whenever you call interact on this apple, we are going to call this substate, and we can just play a sound. Let's try it. All right, another important thing, I mean, not important, but this is the optional part. So you can use the provided show dialog prompt on Apple as well. Yes, it works anywhere. So we have to add a tooltip. Say press E to pick up, and we are going to add glow this time. m_glow. Choose the m_glow matte. All right, and now if we go to the apple, you can notice that it glows. Yeah. Okay. And now if I pick it up, all right. So let's start the quest now, and finally everything should be working fine. Can you get me 3 apples? Sure, I will. If I select this again, so did you get all 3 apples? No, not yet. So let's add this 2 apples. Okay. And now if I go back, no, the button's still not showing up. If I go to this NPC 2, it is telling us that there is something over the cart. Let's go over here. All right, and if I go back to the player, so did you get them all? Yes, here. That's it. And this is how all the dialog system works. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to check out the fab URL in the pinned comment. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye-bye.